This video is dedicated to the patrons, linked to the Patreon below.
So today we're going to talk about big flips, and before I get into the big flip conversation, I want to give a shout out to Kingswell in Los Feliz. This is my favorite shop. I'm obviously biased because I ride for them, and beyond that, I've been riding with Melcher and DJ since they've been riding for me since I was a teenager. So if you're in Los Angeles and you need anything skateboard related, check out Kingswell in Los Feliz, California. They're dope. They support me. They stock my brand, Collage Skateboards. Check out www.collagesskateboards.com and check out www.clubdist.com, CLUBDIST.com. Pick up some of our products. Use the code Norman for 20% off any Collage gear. So that's hats, shirts, and decks at clubdist.com. So big flips. This is a crazy one because I remember when I learned it. There are multiple ways that you can do this trick, just like most tricks in skateboarding. The way that I do it now is very different from the way that I learned to do them. And let me explain. When I first learned to tray flip, there was nobody to show me how to do the tray flip initially. So I learned to do it the best way that I could, and that was by using maximum effort. I could already varial flip, and the varial flip worked by doing a pop shove it, but flicking my front foot like a kickflip and almost rotating my front foot in front of me backside, like I would later learn to do for a backside flip. So logically, I thought that if I spun the board harder with my back foot and still flipped the board with my front foot, it would make the tray flip happen. And after months and months of trying nearly every day, I was able to land one. And then maybe a week or two later, I was able to land one more. And then I got better and better and better at them until one day I'd learned to do a tray flip down a little three stair. I had to roll sideways to make it work. I was going very slow and I had a beat up deck. But down the street from P-Rod's house in the San Fernando Valley here, there was a loading dock behind an Albertsons. And everyone used to do tricks down the loading dock at the Albertsons. 118 Skate Shop had a bunch of clips down that loading dock in their video. Valley Skate and Surf also had a bunch of clips down that. Shout out to all the old Valley skate heads. I'm 38, so if you're around my age and skated in the San Fernando Valley, you probably know what I'm talking about. Well, my friends Brendan, Ramon, and I were trying to tray flip off the loading dock by Paul's house. And Paul and Dan Abadi came by and saw us skating. Now, they were sore from skating stairs, which my friends and I had no clue about. But P-Rod taught me something that changed the way I did the tray flip forever. He taught me that it's mostly about keeping the board stable with your front foot, keeping it in that flicking position, and scooping with your back foot as hard as you can. Then flicking with that front foot and using but only flicking minorly with the front foot, using it as a guide, and then using the front foot to catch the board. Well, once I was able to master tray flipping this way, I was actually able to consistently replicate them downstairs. And it wasn't at first, but eventually this helped me out with big flips because similar to the tray flip, I learned to big flip by using maximum energy in my front foot to flick the board and spinning as hard as I could with the back flip. And obviously this led to a very labored and ugly big flip. But what I would later learn just by deduction was that the big flip is actually a tray flip. So the way that I teach a big flip now is like this. First of all, you should definitely be able to tray flip, and you should be able to tray flip well before you're attempting a big flip. You should also be able to backside flip because the rotating of your shoulders, the squatting, the scooping are gonna happen at the same time that you would rotate your shoulders, squat, and pop. The difference is, what you're gonna do is you're gonna roll up with your feet in this pretty much the same position you would for a tray flip. But the difference is, as you're crouching, you're gonna be winding your shoulders the opposite direction. So you're gonna wind your shoulders front side. Now, after you've wound your shoulders enough for you to make the backside 180 rotation happen, you're gonna start to rotate your shoulders back. And once your shoulders meet the board, you're not gonna stop. You're gonna continue to rotate and you're gonna perform the tray flip with your feet. So that means you're going to scoop your back foot. And remember, when you're tray flipping, we're pretending that our back foot is like a hand grabbing the outside edge of the tail. And we're gonna use that to scoop the board into the ground and we're gonna scoop our back foot slightly up, and that's what's gonna create that tray flip rotation. Now your front foot's gonna be in that slightly angled kickflip position. And as your shoulders are rotating, and after you've scooped, you're gonna use your front foot to guide the board around. And you're gonna allow your body to rotate that 180 degrees. Now what's important is that you're looking at your board so that you can see that once the board has flipped and once the board's rotated 360 degrees, you're gonna catch the board with what was your front foot, but what's now your back foot. And I do something that I don't recommend you doing. It's just a bad habit that I have. I tend to dip my head forward as I'm turning. You wanna try to avoid doing that. It's baked into the way that I do the trick, so it's very difficult for me to undo that bad habit, but I do attempt to. And when I skate stairs, when I've done these downstairs, I've often had to get rid of the leaning forward with my head that I do before I could land it down the stairs. But once you catch the board with your front foot, you're just gonna let it push you to the ground. And you are gonna over rotate sometimes. You're also gonna under rotate sometimes. You can roll away from an over rotated big flip, but it's very rare that you can from an under rotated one. The important things here are your shoulder rotation, your ability to crouch, and your ability to stay crouched as the board's slipping, because if you stiffen up your legs, you're probably not gonna roll away from this trick. I can tell you that right now. The other thing that's important is that you're able to scoop your back foot very well. That's why I say you should have your tray flips down really well before you try to big flip. Now, for you guys that are gonna try big flips over gaps and downstairs, unlike a lot of tricks where the illusion of the stairs means that you don't need to go as fast as you perceive initially, big flip is a different trick. You're gonna have to have some speed to make this work down the steps. You're also gonna wanna remember that you're trying to project your board forward, not up, because we're not going for height here, we're going for technique. That's pretty much all that I have for the big flip here. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps you guys out. Peace.